Hi everyone, it's Maha, and Cheeky's in the background, so if he interrupts, I'm gonna bring him in the video. Hopefully he won't. Alright, so today I wanted to share a few things with you, just a few things that I got for my birthday, which was 2 weeks ago, and I kind of wanted to just touch base and say hello and have a little chat and maybe share my birthday resolution with you all. I did one last year on my birthday, and so every year on my birthday I make a birthday resolution. I don't do New Year's resolutions, I do birthday resolutions, because for me the birthday is the beginning of a new personal year for me, and it's like a new personal journey. I've never had any negative feelings associated with my birthdays. I never feel depressed or feel like I'm getting too old, even though I am growing older. I guess I'm lucky enough that the way I was brought up, I always thought of aging as a good thing, becoming wiser, learning, experienced. I had this privilege of, I guess, being born into a culture that didn't, although now things have changed, but back when I was little and growing up, didn't look down on aging. And so I've always had a very positive image of aging, I guess, of learning. And that's the thing, is that I'm a learner and I love learning. So for me, every year is like a new journey, and I reflect on the past year. What have I done? What have I learned? Where have I been? And where do I kind of feel like I want to go? It's never really like a goal kind of thing, because goals, to be honest, kind of stress me out, because I'm a very goal-oriented person to begin with, and I have always really aimed for accomplishments and seeking approvals from parents, from teachers, from all that. So I kind of feel like if I set myself goals, or at least goals too high, then I have high expectations of myself. So I just try to kind of look at it as learning experience. What do I want to learn? How much do I want to grow? And that to me is always exciting when I think of birthdays. And it's always a celebration. This year for my birthday, I didn't really get a lot of things, like a lot of gifts, like physical things. I mostly got experiences. I was given gifts that were experiences, if you know what I mean. For example, my friend gave me a pedicure. She's an esthetician. My siblings got me a hotel room, really nice hotel room, and they got all my friends together. We had a really nice dinner party, that kind of thing. More experiences. But I got a few little things, and I wanted to share a couple of them with you. And I also wanted to talk about my card of the year. I don't know if I can talk about all this in this video. We'll see how long we're gonna make it, because Cheeky is already getting restless over there. I don't know if you can hear him. Hopefully it's not distracting. So the first thing is this, which is so beautiful. Look at this. This is a little tiny bottle. Well, it's not that tiny actually. It fits quite a lot. Glass bottle for perfumes, oils and perfumes, and you know I love that. I love oils. I love my perfumes, handmade perfumes that I make. And I have one of these kind of similar ones, smaller one, and actually I showed it to you before in another video, and that one fit quite a lot, so this one I'm thinking will fit quite a bit. This one I got from my mom, and I love it. I think it's so exotic, just so beautiful. I dream of having more bottles like this. And then I got this little pendant from my sister, and it's Amazonite. I love the triangle shape. It's one of my favorite geometric shapes, actually. I love it. It's longer, so it kind of fits right on the heart chakra. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, sister. And then I got a deck, which is this one, Fantastical Creatures Tarot Deck by Lisa Hunt. This is the deck that I've been thinking about for a very, very long time, but I always kind of was not really... I had my doubts about it. And, oh, that's funny, this is the card I was going to show you. This is the star card. Okay, so I had my doubts about it for different reasons. One was that there are a couple of cards in here that I wasn't really sure how I felt about. For example, this one, which is the Magician. I didn't really know how I feel about winged cats. Or this one, the High Priestess. These two I wasn't really sure about, and these sorts of images always kind of maybe threw me off a little bit. But still, because I love Lisa Hunt and I love her artwork so much, I totally admire her as well as a person. She's so kind and so artistic and so intelligent. And what I love about her decks is that she incorporates mythologies from all over the world, really, all over the ancient, from different parts of the ancient world. For example, she has in her other decks as well mentioned quite a bit about Persian mythology. I'm looking for the card here. That's the bird famous in Persian mythology called Simorgh, and this is the Ace of Wands. And I just love that how she brings the cultures which are not as highly recognized, or cultures that are, not so popular. She brings those mythologies into her work. I really admire her knowledge of world myth. I mean, she knows quite a variety of different myths. So now, I want to say about this deck, another thing is that even though the artwork is just stunning, and I'm not going to show you too many of the cards, I know the lighting is not very good either, the Queen of Swords, even though the artwork is stunning, I mean, that's it, the artwork is breathtaking, there's no doubt about that, but I don't know how it reads for other people anyway, especially if I don't know about the stories behind the images. I feel like I'll have to read up on this little white book, which is, by the way, fantastic. It's a really great book. It's pretty thick actually, and there's a lot of detail in here. I've been having quite a lot of fun just getting into this deck and reading about the myths and finding out about each card. But I have to be honest, personally I feel like it's hard to work with if I don't know the deck well. That's just the one thing I found. And I also found that the swords were associated with fire, and wands were associated with air, so the other kind of switched around. But the meanings of the swords in the book were the same as the meanings of the swords in the RWS system. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like the swords were giving interpretations of wands, of fire. The swords were still sticking to swords, even though they were said to be the fire element. So I'm not really sure why that switch has happened. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm happy with this deck, and I'm definitely going to keep it, and I'm learning a lot from it already. So, my card of the year, that's what I want to talk about next. Ever since I got the Dreams of Gaia tarot deck by Raven Phelan, I've been contemplating on her choice of the choice card as the number 0 card. Beautiful artwork in this deck. Love it. I've been contemplating on that because she mentions in the book how she believes that choice comes before everything else, and that we always have choice before we do anything. So it's the start of the deck, it's the very first card. I've been contemplating on that, and actually what she says, and just this image itself, reminds me of a famous quote by Albert Einstein, which goes, "There are only 2 ways to live life, or to live. One, to believe that nothing is a miracle, and 2, to believe that everything is a miracle." And that reminds me of, that makes me think that we always have either one of these 2 choices. One, to choose that life has no meaning, or to choose that life ultimately has meaning, and everything we do in life has meaning. I personally choose the latter. as you probably guessed if you know me already. Because I feel that when we believe that, or when we think, or when we go into life thinking that everything has meaning, it opens up so much. And for me, the times when I'm feeling really down, kind of sad, or I'm feeling like I'm almost losing my hope, remembering that essentially life has meaning and everything has meaning gives me hope. You know? And I hadn't actually chosen this card as my card of the year until I drew my very first card of the year. The very first card I drew a few days after my birthday was from the Fairy Oracle by Paulina Cassidy. And I picked this one, Choice. The image reminds me of the Two of Pentacles. I almost see this invisible infinity sign here. And it says you're in control of the choices set before you. I really resonate with that. I feel like we can always choose. We can choose from the choices that we have. We might not have all the choices in the world, obviously, but we always have some choices in front of us. So we have choice to choose. I made a video a little while ago, which I'll link down below again if you haven't seen it, on the Two of Swords and how we can choose peace, and how I felt the card was telling me that day that I can choose peace. And so I decided to make this card, Choice card, my card of the year, because I want to remember that and keep remembering that there is always choice. That is always an option. And I am lucky enough to be living in a part of the world that I do have options. A friend of mine said it really beautifully. She said, the sun never dies. And I think that's so beautiful because it's true. The sun is always there. Depending on where we are on the earth and our perspective, we might not see the sun. So it might be nighttime and we look up and we see everything is dark, where is the sun? But we see the stars, maybe, we see the moon, maybe. And how do we see that? The sun, right? The sun is reflecting. The sun is always there, and if we're patient, our perspective can change as the earth shifts and then the sun comes back up. So the sun never dies. I love that. And so my resolution, this brings me to my resolution this year, my birthday resolution, is to, this is really hard for me to do actually, to think about what's real. It's hard because I find being realistic kind of boring. Being a fiery sign and always having a Gemini ascendant and always wanting to do things and finding things to do and getting bored easily. But the reason I said finding what's real is because I guess a couple of days before my birthday, something happened, which I'm not going to get into, and I got really frustrated. And I was thinking negative. At that moment, I was very in my head, very negative, focusing on what wasn't there, what I hadn't done, what I should have been doing, what I wasn't doing enough of, giving myself a hard time, having my inner critic really push it, like really lay it all on me, flat. And so I thought, at that point, I guess, later on, I thought I could focus on the positive. Why did I focus on the negative? I could focus on the positive. But later, I thought about that and I changed that to focusing on what's real, focusing on what's true. Because what's true is that maybe this and this and this was bad, but there's also this and this and this. So again, back to the choice thing. What choices do I have? And what's real? What's really real? So that's kind of not really shutting up my critic, but it's talking to my critic, asking it like, okay, I can hear you, Cheeky, hold on. I can hear you. I know you're there. What's true here? What's right, maybe, instead of thinking positive? Because thinking positive is, there's a whole other set of baggages that come with thinking positive, because, for a few seconds it might feel good, but then you know that you're kind of, at least for me, I'm maybe covering up something or lying to myself. It's like I don't really believe it, but if I really focus on what's real, on what's right there, what's true at that moment, that starts to shift things. And I think that's all I'm going to say. So thank you so much for watching as always, and I am sending you lots of love. It is snowing so much today. I don't know if you can see it. I wish I could show you. Have a beautiful day, everyone. It's magical here. I love the snow, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.